Alif, Lam, Mim, only 3 letters. Islamic scholars have discussed them for centuries. Great awliya like Ibn Arabi said that very special secrets are hidden here. Between Asr and Maghrib, there is a hidden door, and the key to that door is hidden in Surah Al-Baqarah. Inside it is Ayat al-Kursi, a verse that shakes the heavens and the earth. Inside it is Aman al-Rasul, a gift from the Miraj full of deep secrets. Surah Al-Baqarah is central to Islam. It carries the codes of the Prophet ﷺ life in Medina. It is powerful against magic, the evil eye, and illness. When it is recited, devils leave the house. For the one who asks, Allah gives what He wills. And this surah is a great source of hope for everyone who fears the grave. You are watching Religious Story TV. We are continuing our series on the surahs of the Quran. To not miss this series, please subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. With your support, we can reach many more brothers and sisters. If you are ready, let's begin. As evening fell over the streets of Medina, a new voice began to rise. The Prophet was sitting with his companions, reciting newly revealed verses. His voice echoed through the narrow streets of Medina. Alif, Lam, Mim. This was not an ordinary sound. Arabic was their language. They understood every word, every letter and every sound went straight into their minds. But these 3 letters were different. The Jewish scholars of Medina had been teaching in synagogues for many years. For generations, they had taught the Torah. Their hands were dark with ink from writing books page after page. Because of this, the Quran called them ahbar, people who lived with ink. And now that unlettered prophet, a man who could not read or write, was speaking about letters, Alif, Lam, Mim. They were only 3 letters, but they created shock among the educated people of Medina. Because there was only one way to know letters, learning to read. But these were not letters learned through worldly knowledge. There were great secrets behind them. Whispers spread through the marketplace of Medina. Wait a moment, some people said. Who taught him the letters? We thought he was unlettered. He had not studied with rabbis or priests. He had received no education at all. He was untouched by schooling, like a newborn child. But now, some of the Jewish scholars began to search through their old books. Maybe there was a clue there. Maybe these letters had a meaning in the Torah, maybe a hidden code, maybe a sign. But they found nothing. Those letters stood there like a door. Even today, these letters are still seen as encoded. We will soon come to the very interesting explanations of different Islamic scholars. But now let us continue the story and read the verses that come after this coded verse, so we can understand the connection between them. The Prophet continued to recite, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. That book, there is no doubt in it. It is guidance for the mindful. It was as if Allah was saying, you were curious about the letters. Now let me introduce the book to you. That is the book. Here there was a subtle detail. Allah did not say, this book, He said, that book. In Arabic, words of distance are not chosen randomly. You say this for what is near. You say that for what is far. This is not just language, it is a map of the mind. Allah drew this map from the very beginning. What you hear is near, but where it is written is far. Even though the Quran is recited here, that book is actually in Law al-Mahfuz, far away, unchangeable, cannot be erased, cannot be rewritten, as if carved into stone. And at this point, the listener realizes something. This speech is not random. These words are not improvised. This message is coming from somewhere, and we are only at the beginning. Another shockwave followed. The Prophet did not yet have a physical book in his hands. No one had ever seen him reading anything, because he could not read. But now, words were flowing from his lips as if he were reading from an invisible book. And those words, even the most educated people in Medina had never spoken like this. Arabs were proud of their language. They boasted about their greatest poets and most eloquent speakers. They looked down on anyone who could not speak well. In any society, the question, who knows, slowly becomes the question, who rules? Whoever controls knowledge, whoever controls meaning, controls society. Until that day, the knowledge of Medina was in certain hands, the hands of rabbis and scholars. From the very first step, the Quran said, "The authority of this book is not in your hands." That is why the Quran did not only say the book. When it said, "There is no doubt in this book," it was really saying, this book has the power to remove doubt from the inside. So who are the mutakin mentioned at the end of the verse in the sentence, "Guidance is for the mutakin"? When we translate it into English, it means those who protect themselves, or those who are careful and mindful. At this point, a new tension is born in the listener's heart. Am I one of the mutakin? Will I be able to receive something from this book? The Quran does not say something like those who are protecting themselves as a temporary action. Instead, by saying mutakin, it points to a timeless group. They existed in the past, they exist now, and they will exist in the future. This is a door of hope, because some people fall into this illness. There were good people before, there are none now. The Quran breaks this idea on its very first page. People of taqwa will exist until the day of judgment. But taqwa here does not mean only a religious Muslim. The door the Quran opens is wider than that, because one side of taqwa can exist even before faith. A person tries to protect themselves from evil, stays away from lies, avoids injustice, and their heart is still facing a clean direction. That is why the Quran in Medina does not speak only to Muslims. It also speaks to Jews and Christians, because they are listening, they understand, they are also included in this address. Everyone who comes trying to save themselves from evil, Christian, Jew, agnostic, atheist, whoever they may be, will find guidance in this book. In reality, the door is opened for all of them. The invitation is made. Allah opened this door to the entire community of Medina, and through it, to the whole world. The Prophet was still new in Medina. Yet from the moment he arrived, the city took on a structure it had never had before. Muslims, Jews, and Arab polytheists were living together. Agreements were made between them. An alliance was formed to defend the city of Medina together. For the Muslims, this was a new life. In Mecca, they had been a small group, oppressed, pushed out, seen as rebels or as a threat to society. But in Medina, they had become a community. A great peace had entered the borders of Medina. Islam had stopped the tribal conflicts, and it was in this atmosphere that the verses of Surah Al-Bekara began to be revealed. This surah spread across almost the entire life of the Prophet in Medina. Let us continue with verse 3. الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. Those who believe in the unseen establish the prayer and spend from what we have provided for them. Allah defined the very first and most basic quality of the people of Taqwa as belief in the unseen. The word Gaib represents a vast world beyond the five senses, a world that cannot be tested in laboratories, but whose presence is deeply felt in the heart. Angels, the hereafter, secrets revealed through revelation, and most importantly, the essence of Allah. If a person believes only in what they see, they are trapped inside their biological limits. But the one who believes in the unseen realizes that the visible universe is only a thin shell, and that the real truth is hidden behind this veil.